take this opportunity to use this as a mirror while we wait for our live friends. Hello and welcome. Just pulling up my chat. And today we're talking about So This Is Love, another Twisted Tale book. This is our second. Yeah, the first one we read was the Frozen. I think it was called Conceal Don't Feel. And I'm excited to chat about it, so I'll wait just a few more seconds in case anyone else is joining us live. Scarlett, come here. Want to say hi? Come here. Come here. She's very busy with her toy. Very busy. So, if you are joining me live or after, let me know if you read the book or listened to the book. I actually listened this time, and I'm so glad I did. Basically, you know what, I'm gonna wait just another minute. I'm hopping in here. And I don't want to give anything away because I don't have a whole lot to say about this book, so I don't want to jump into it and go. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing? I went to Magic Kingdom since we last had our book club, so there's that. Does anyone have a Disney trip coming up? Just curious. This summer, maybe. I know one of our book club girls is on her way here right now, so that's really exciting. Amanda! I don't want to, I mean, is it going to spoil it for you? Come here, Scarlett, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Okay, so we'll get started in just a minute. Right after this Scarlett break, because everyone needs a little chihuahua in their life. Are you the official mascot? Do you like books? Scarlett listens to the books with me, so she's got a say in what's going on around here. Okay, so let's jump in. So, I would love to know your thoughts overall. Mine are, I liked it. For me, this book, I really enjoyed the beginning, and then I feel like it kind of went like down a little bit at the end. But I think it's a personal problem. I think I just was in, like, I think it was me. I don't think it was the book. But if you felt the same way, if you felt like, Scarlett, come here. She's playing right here and getting really rowdy. If you felt like this book got less interesting or fun or magical as it went on, let me know. But I think it was just like me and the place I was in, which can totally happen with like movies, theater, books. Like I was trying to do some things and I think I wasn't paying as close attention. And so Kara really liked it, loved the connections to the original movie, direct quotes and stuff. And Amanda said, it's so cute, I like it so far. So here's what I like about it. Do any of you read like Royals books? Like, I'm trying to remember the name of it. There's a few of these books, like, I didn't read American Royals, but it's there's another series that's like, where the girl goes over there to England and then like ends up dating the prince. Anyway, some more of those like love stories with royals and those guys, like that's the kind of vibe I got from this. It's funny because these are like Disney movies and this is like a Disney book, but this one in particular didn't, I mean, it felt like a grown-up like reading Downton Abbey with magic or something, you know. It felt definitely, there's like the royal part, a little bit of like aristocracy, there's the is that called the caste system? Like there's like the tiers of society and like what she, you know, you can't marry a commoner type situation. So those kinds of stories, I usually like those. I mean, that's like the premise of a fairy tale, but usually the Disney books or the Disney movies are a little more, you know, geared towards like kids and families. And I felt like this was, I don't want to say a grown-up read, but like it felt really mature and fun in a pretty elegant, fancy way. I liked hearing about like the green pearls, and the one thing that surprised me like right off the bat was that the stepmother like sold her as a servant. I was like, whoa. That really surprised me. So was there anything that surprised you in this? Kara said, definitely felt a little more grown up, much more layered than I originally thought it would be. These books are so interesting too because like the Frozen one as well, I thought the Twisted Tale series so far, the two we've read, are really similar to like the movies, but then it's kind of either just told in like a different order or like one thing happens, it kind of throws a bunch of stuff off, but they still get to the same conclusion. So I liked this because it was fun to kind of picture some of what I know in my head from the movie and then some of, you know, what the author is writing and like kind of picturing Aurelis a little differently. And yeah, so we are agreeing that it was a little dark when she was sold. I was like, where is this going? Like, whoa, okay. But yeah, we knew she was going to end up like working at the castle because I think that was in the description. But when we started at the ball, I was like, where are we going from here? This is the pinnacle of the movie. What's going to happen? So, I like jumped right in with that. Really enjoyed the whole ball part. I feel like that's definitely the whole draw of Cinderella for me, which by the way, I wore my Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo shirt and my carriage earrings because I'm that level of into Cinderella. Kara said there were parts that reminded me of the Selection series. Have you read those? No, I haven't. I wish I could remember the name of the book that I read that this reminded me of. Like, I have it in my Audible account, but I'm on my phone, so I can't pull it up. But yeah, I really enjoyed that she got to go to another ball. I thought that was great. I loved that he recognized her right away. I thought that was fun. And I liked the different relationships she built throughout this book. Cinderella is like definitely a loner in other versions. She's kind of like flying solo. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I thought that was fun to see her kind of in a more like realistic, you know, she took this role in the castle and is like working and is like meeting people along the way. And then I liked seeing or hearing from like the Duchess and just trying to think of like my highlights overall. The premise of the magic being an issue and being like banned and stuff, I thought that was a really perfect way to explain why the magic goes away at midnight. It's something that just is kind of like a, oh, this is just how it is, like in in the like the animated one, which I never really thought about. It's just like, oh yeah, it ends at midnight, you know, because like as magic does. So to hear like it had to be kind of like this secret like fast thing that like disappeared because it was outlawed, like totally fit. And I was like, yeah, I like that, because sometimes if you make a change or a choice in one of these kinds of stories, it's like I'm like, you know, I'm skeptical because you already know the story, you want to have like the things you like about it present, I guess, and still be true. So this was like a really nice explanation. Amanda liked her relationship with the Duchess. It's nice how she was going to fire her but saw something in her and kept her on. Yes, and I feel like Kara also said I like the servants were highlighted instead of just the aristocracy because that went back to Cinderella's background. Yes, and I really liked the talk all like throughout a lot of the book about like caring for people and how, what was it? Was it his mom that wanted to recognize there was like these debates about people and like being accepted at their, you know, like place in society, and then there, what was it, like letting the people go to school, but then there was a lot of stuff about like, no, like, you know, everybody has something special to offer, and I feel like that's pretty common in fairy tales, to kind of like somebody falls in love with someone they're not supposed to fall in love with because they aren't of benefit to in marriage to that kingdom or whatever. But I like that about the prince. The duke was, I mean, he was, I feel bad Amanda didn't finish it. I like, we knew he was not going to be great. And then there's like part of him that sounds like he's really looking out for this kingdom and cares. I think it's more intriguing when things are not so black and white, but gray. Now, like poisoning the king, like it's no good. There's nothing good about it. But him trying to say like he didn't want Cinderella married the prince because he wanted the kingdom to do well, and that it wouldn't, you know, trying to make it like a noble choice almost is interesting to me, because I feel like in life it's more realistic that nobody's just setting out to be bad. People, I think, mostly want the same things. They want to be happy, they want, you know, to be well, and for the people, like their loved ones, to be well. Like people are looking for, they're trying to achieve the same things but in different ways. And so to see like a character like that try to make sense of not letting, you know, Cinderella marry the prince, I don't know. So I like it when it can be something a little more understandable and relatable versus someone is just like really bad inside. Yeah. So that's how I felt about that. So she did have her friends, Bruno, but there wasn't, this is kind of the opposite, this book. I was looking at like 2 books for this, and they were both Cinderella. And it's ironic because one was called like Delphine and the Magic something, and I think it was a little more of like a younger reader book, which I love those too, those are fun. But it's about like Cinderella's mouse friend that's like, she's like a little hero in the castle, like going about a story. And then in this one, there wasn't as much involvement like in the magical way. So it was a little more realistic, even though like, you know, there wasn't that like talking to critters like the movie, you know, like a little more closer to the actual kind of friendship you have with a pet versus like, oh, I'm gonna come back and they've cleaned and sewed. So I did kind of like that, how it was a little different. Let me see, I had a comment here. Kara loved Bruno, he got so much love, the mice felt less magical. I really like that Bruno like sniffed her out at the end there. Yeah, they definitely did not make the dress in this version. But I liked listening to this and hearing like the lady's accent and the way Cinderella spoke. She made her sound very, I don't know, like innocent. And Cinderella is such an interesting character. She's played so many different ways. And if you watch like the Rodgers and Hammerstein play, or like the musical, we saw it a few years ago, and they like changed some things about it. To be a little more like, I think I hear myself. Jim, are you here? They changed it to be a little more like female empowerment when I saw it. And so it's fun to see how different Cinderella can be in different stories and settings. I mean, she's like a girl that goes from like zero to hero, kind of, but she has the best of intentions in this book as well, right? She really does fall in love with the prince. She doesn't know he's a prince yet, right? I think, am I remembering that correctly? She didn't know until after, right? So I think in this one, she was a little bit nicer. In the animated one, she's got a little tood. She's definitely like has sass, and she like does the work, but she's kind of like glaring sometimes, you know, and she's got a little sass. And then this one, she wasn't like written so much that way. She was a little bit more pure, I felt, and just like realistically kind of like she'd been through a lot, and kind of I felt like was carrying that. And I liked how they also embellished on her relationship with the Lady Tremaine in that whole story, and kind of like showing a little more Lady Tremaine is not just like jealous, period, I hate you, that's the end of it, but kind of painting Cinderella as like a spoiled girl and stuff. And like I was like, I don't know, like was she, or is that just what Lady Tremaine saw? But at least giving her some sort of motive to like have a reason to dislike this girl who is like, you know, from what we see, Cinderella is never really terrible, right? She's just like making her way, I don't know. So yeah, Lady Tremaine was pretty awful in this one. When she was especially saying like she stole this and stuff. Yeah, so I don't have like a ton of thoughts on this one. Like I said, I really loved the beginning. I'd say more so like over halfway, and then I don't know what. Interestingly enough, once it started to get like really, oh hi mom. Once it started to get into the thick of things happening, and you know, the Duke was like definitely bad, and then you know, the king was like sick, and all this stuff happening, that usually would be the part where you're like, ooh, it's getting good. But I guess I just really enjoyed like the slow pace of like the secrecy and like her working in the castle, and then like kind of, you know, the mystery of her. Kara had some issues with the Duke compared to the movie. He didn't seem to be close to the same character. Yeah. So in the Cinderella from, what was that, 2015 with like Lily James, that Duke is bad, right? He's like trying to fix her up with another girl. Like he's trying to do stuff like kind of behind the royal's back or whatever. And I was curious, and if anybody knows, let me know. I'm curious how like the Duke is painted originally. Like is he in like what is the first one, like Grimm's, like the scary one? Is that like the first Cinderella? And I wonder if he's in there and if he is like a bad actor in that, because in the animated one, he's kind of just like the guy taking the shoe around, and he's kind of like had it with the king, but it's just because the king is like has such erratic like behavior and is so, I don't know. I don't see the Duke as like a really awful person in the animated one. He's like just trying to do the job pretty much. So it's totally like a different telling to see him being like the antagonist. So any other thoughts on this book? Let me know. Kara said there's so many different ones. He doesn't exist in Grimm's. Okay, thank you for that. There are 3 different balls that she goes to, each with a different type of shoe. In the original, really? Jim told me something about the original that made me like, I don't know if I ever need to read that. But that's really interesting. Wow. 3 different shoes. Okay. So one was made of fur. It's terrifying. Yeah, that's so interesting how those stories are like super creepy and weird, and then they turn out to be these like really like classic Lifetime like movies that everyone sees with their family. How do we get from A to Z here? I don't know, but it happens. One thing that I was curious about was, this was the opposite with the glass slippers in this book, right? Because in the animated one, she loses a slipper and leaves it. And then at the end, the slipper breaks as they're taking it around to try it on the feet. And then she is like, but I have the other one. And so then like, okay, it's definitely you. But in this one, didn't she break it? I just remember something about the shoes being different. So yeah, details. I love to see how we get from A to B in these with the different, they're so similar, but then like slightly different, and just the little changes make them more fun to kind of see how it could have been, or how someone else tells it. And I would love to know what you think about the, yes, she broke to keep it from her sisters. Yes. Thanks, Amanda. What do you think about the Twisted Tale books overall? Have you read other ones? Did you read the Frozen one with us? What do you think? Let me know. I don't want to keep reading like, I really try to switch it up. I feel like it's getting a little slim pickings on like finding Disney books, because a lot come out, but all of them aren't like so great for us. Like, I like to do some younger reads sometimes, but they do have a lot of like children's books that come out, obviously. And I was trying to go between like fiction and nonfiction, and then trying to do, you know, like biographies and stuff of people that were either like very Disney or Disney like adjacent. I don't know. So, okay, so we've got two. I like them. I like them too. I think we'll maybe, I saw the Rapunzel one and the Hercules one. I might read them into. Awesome. They have a lot now. So we'll keep it in our back pocket. Maybe we'll do another one of these in a while. So remember, for June, I'm so glad I picked this because it's a really fun read. I'm so glad we're going to do it again. If you already have it or read it, yay. And if you're joining us for the first time, I'm delighted. This book is an absolute treat. It is called Entertaining with Disney. There are multiple covers, so if you're just picking it up, there's also a Beauty and the Beast cover. Oh, thank you, Kara. I'm so glad you liked Gift of Life. I had wanted to read that for literally like 10 years, and I finally just was like, you know what? Let's do this for book club and make it happen. And I'm so glad we read it together, because it was like pretty heavy stuff, but like really special and a very cool Disney connection, I thought. Central Florida history, space history. It's like, what an interesting life. So basically, this book is just an absolute dream to look at. I love it so much. I feel like a lot of books, I like to get them, read them, let them go. I'm not really like a books on the coffee table girl, but I just will never get rid of this book. I love it. It's beautiful. I want it in my life. Like, it's one of those books. Amanda said there are new Miles Morales books I saw, and some new Star Wars ones. Maybe Jim could give input. I'm sure he would. He actually does a lot of Star Wars reading. Reads the different comic books, the regular books. Yeah, so for June, we'll do this one. I'm thinking about taking a summer break and not doing one for July and August. Then maybe coming back in September, October. Because we kind of have a lot of things going around here. And I want to make sure I have time to dedicate. So yeah, we'll see about that. It is easy, like it's doable when I listen to the book, but yeah. So may or may not take a little break, but we'll come back like in the fall if we do, for sure. So summer break would be great too. I've got some other things to catch up on. Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you for, like, I love your honest feedback. I really appreciate it every time. Very cool. So hope you'll join me for June. Yay, Kara, I'm so glad you like it. And what's great about this book is, like, it's just cute for like, I would do stuff for me and Jim like all throughout this last year. We tried to keep it fun at home. And this book was really a help. The month we did it last time, I did something every week. And then for the book club, I did like a little live party. And I won't do something every week again, but I will probably for the book club meeting just do a little something cute, or I'll do one thing during the month and share it on Instagram and stuff and maybe vlog it. I don't know. But there'll be one thing that I do for sure inspired by this book, a little party something to put together because it's so fun. So thank you so much for joining me. Happy to have you live, and if you're watching later, I appreciate you just as much. Thanks for being part of this and reading with us. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you around the internet, other places. Hopefully it won't be a month. So yeah, thank you. I'm so glad, Kara. Thank you for letting me know. Yay. All right, we'll talk to you next time if I can remember how to leave. Okay. Oh, perfect timing. Scarlett's saying goodbye as well. Okay, bye.